What's cracking, guys? It's your boy Bruce Matson here for another rant style video. I know you guys like it, where I just pretty much find a topic, I go off on it. Barely any research, just off the top of my dome. But today, I just want to cover Brandon Aiyuk and what the fuck has been happening to him, because it's just been a horrific season. Only 90 yards and a touchdown. He's like wide receiver, 1 million in fantasy. It doesn't even matter where he's ranked. He's just not getting the job done. Everybody has forgotten about him and been hating on him or whatever. It's just been a meme at this point on social media. It's just been a snowball effect of putrid. But there's just some things that we need to look at here. Really look at him objectively, like we do every player. We look at him objectively, we break them down, and try and figure things out. If anything, we entertain ourselves doing that. If that's something you're into, hit that subscribe button. Every subscription matters. It fuels me to keep putting out this content, grinding the film for you guys, helping you guys out with your fantasy teams and everything else. But Brandon Aiyuk here is an interesting case study, because he came out last season gangbusters, very productive as a rookie, and now he's barely getting targeted. But we do have a light at the end of the tunnel right now. George Kittle, IR, calf injury. Targets are going to be opening up a little bit. That doesn't mean all those targets that Kittle was getting is going to go straight to Aiyuk, because that's just not how it happens. That's a fallacy effect. That doesn't work like that. But that means maybe a few will. That'll give him opportunity to do a little bit more to prove himself or get himself back to where he was last year. And we're seeing a small sample of what could possibly happen. Last week, we saw an increase in target share against Arizona, 16% target share, which is fairly good enough to fuel him to be productive. One thing that's going to hurt him is Deebo Samuel is rocking out. He's wide receiver 5 in the whole league, 110 fantasy points, 34% target share. It's just been one of the best wide receivers in football. 508 yards, 3 touchdowns off 50 targets. He's been efficient. He gets the yards after the catch. He has a nose for the end zone. And Aiyuk, starting the season off with a hamstring injury that's curtailing his production, his ability to do the things that he's good at. He's just getting Wally pipped right now. And that does not mean he can't regain his steam. That doesn't mean he can't come back. And really, 5 games is just a really, really small sample. Super small sample that we should not always hit your wagon to, because it's just so small that things can change like that. But really, Brandon Aiyuk has a chance to come back on us. He's at a super cheap price point, free in redraft. You could pick him up. Really depends on your roster size, your other stashes, and what you want to do there. There's just other players that you may want to pick up off waivers, like Rashad Bateman. If he's still on waivers, smack your own hand, because he shouldn't be. But I would do Bateman over him, because the upside's so grand. And if he fails, it's not going to hurt you really, because you know you're shooting for upside as a speculative asset. Aiyuk's a different story of a speculative asset. He's a stock that was on the rise, had a crash, and now we may see a dead cat bounce somewhere in the season, and guarantee it's going to probably happen because the schedule's opening up. We have Indy and Chicago, 2 slow games right after the bye, and then we got Arizona, Rams, shit show with Jacksonville, Minnesota has been pushing the rock a little bit, Seattle, Cincy, things are going to open up. Kittle's been dealing with the calf issue. He's got a bye to get healthy himself for Aiyuk. So we could see a changing of his production, his usage going forward. And from a Dynasty perspective, we got to see how low this price tag is. We got to see how low it is. Is he a second-round rookie pick now? Is he a third? Is he a guy that you like? You've liked him last year. Maybe you can deal that prospect, that older player, and a little something away to get him. I want to give you ideas. Maybe straight up Jalen Reagor. Maybe straight up, probably a third, second. I'm not giving him a first. No way, shape, or form, especially with how wide receivers are diluted. You can just pick them up, and we're already seeing him not produce this early, and we're seeing his teammate Deebo Samuel own a 34% target share and ball out as one of the top wide receivers in the league. I'm not paying a first for him. A second, maybe a little more. I don't know. It's really a case-by-case study of what your league mates want to sell him for. But honestly, what we preach here on this channel is when you see a value dip, you kick the tires, and that's what you need to be doing right now. Kick the tires. If he's pretty much damn near free, what's the loss if he doesn't revert back to what he was last year? What's the loss on that? Another reason I was thinking about why he has not been producing the way it was is, one thing is the coaching staff and how they've been operating his offense, implementing the offensive scheme has been very wonky throughout the year. The hamstring issues, obviously, but also like Aiyuk, man, he may not be what we think he is and be more like a headache. He may be an idiot off the field, idiot in practice. He may be that guy that is just annoying to the coaching staff. They're not fans of him. We don't know for sure. That's something we'll never know. That's probably something we'll never hear. We never hear this stuff about players. But just like any other job, any other place, if you're that dude that is just fucking off, then that's going to put you down on the totem pole. But I think Brandon Aiyuk has the goods to really move himself back up the rank. He may not ever get back to that offseason value where he was approaching being one of the top young prospects in the NFL. He may not happen. It may not get there, but he could be like a wide receiver 5, 6 on your team with good volatile production that can help you out in spots, especially in Dynasty. You need that because when you get ravaged in injuries, you don't have a waiver wire. There's nothing on the waiver wire. There's a bunch of duds there you can probably play matchups with, and maybe you get lucky on that matchup, but really, there's nothing there. There may be 1 or 2 players all year that you got to fight your whole league mates with to pick up, and that's the point of it. I think he's a good bench guy to stream with at least, and I think he's got upside to get back to where he is. I think the fantasy football industry community has been really not talking about him because they don't know what's going on, because we don't. But we do know the upside because we saw it last year, and we know it's his potential because he did it, and we have that to hang our hat on. And we have an injury that's happened that started the year. We can hang our hat on that. And we have the coaching staffs coming out and saying that if it wasn't for the injury, the hamstring injury that he had right before the season started, that he'd have the spot, that he'd be in the same pecking order prior. Whether that's true or not, because coaches just lie all the time in front of reporters. It's not like they're always factual, but it is something to make note of. It is a data point that we can analyze. And the fact that we got a cheap price point, a cheap entry cost for Aiyuk, I get it. People are holding and they're diamond fisting him. That's part of the game. But there's also people that are willing to sell, get out from under him, and move on, especially with cheaper rookie picks. If it was me, the first offer I'd float is a third and maybe a player that has a little tiny bit of value that I don't like. Maybe a guy who's been somewhat productive that's older, just to see if I can sneak him away on the cheap. Max I'd pay is maybe a second and a late pick or something, but I'm not overpaying either. I'm just trying to kick the tires, see if I can steal him, really. I'm not really trying to pay up for him. I'm not buying high because at the end of the day, wide receivers is very fluid. They're up and down. I do not want to overpay for them on the market unless they're a bona fide stud that I know they're going to be a stud for like next 5 to 8 to 10 years. And even at that point, we thought that with Odell Beckham, and that did not work out either. But guys like Justin Jefferson, I want to buy. Guys like CeeDee Lamb, I want to buy. They're younger players, they're proven, and they are in offenses that are willing to fuel them. Jamar Chase, I want to buy. Like these young guys that are productive, look the part, I want to buy high on. These guys here, these middling guys, I want to pick and choose my spots, buy them while they're on the low, get them when they're free, sneak them away from the fantasy managers, and do what I can with them. But I think Brandon Aiyuk's not dead. I think he will have some pop-up games this year. You're just not going to know when to start him. But if you're ravaged with injuries, he's got a good list of games down the stretch that could help you out, that gives him some potential, and that's what I'm looking at here for him for 2021. Long-term perspective, I think he's just going to be up and down dynasty value. His whole career, I don't think he'll ever be a top 10 wide receiver. I just don't think that's in the cards really for him, but I think he does still have potential to help service your dynasty rosters and potentially your fantasy teams as well. But I want to thank you for watching the show, sticking with me. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. Every subscription matters. Fuels me to keep putting out this content. Fuels me to go over the tape with you guys so you know what these players look like. We go over the metrics. We go over target share. All the data is hand-fed to you guys anyways. Everybody has that. It's not new. There's nothing groundbreaking with that data, so I give you that. You already know that. You got a feel for that. And then we go over the tape a little bit and we do a little bit of everything, and that's what you get with this channel. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. And again, I want to thank you for watching the show, and I'll catch you next time.